Hello and welcome to Baku in Azerbaijan, the land of fire, where 58 of the world's best speed athletes have gathered for the first speed-only IFSC World Cup of 2013. We are situated in the largest city and capital of Azerbaijan, tucked up in a bay just next to the Caspian Sea. Baku is home to 2.1 million people and is known as the wind-pounded city, something that we're hoping stays away as our athletes attempt to climb the 15-metre official speed route. Well, as our speed wall here in Flag Square is official, it's time that we start to see some of these athletes pushing to try and beat the world speed record as it stands at the moment. For the men's, that's 5.88 seconds. For the women's, it's 8.33. This is a race not only to the top of the wall, but also into the record books as some of these athletes from around the world gather for a chance of fame and glory. We are here in the wind-pounded city, in the land of fire, next to the Caspian Sea, for a sport that was born on rock. It's the first IFSC speed-only World Cup of 2013. Let's have a look at the contestants. Well, hello and a very warm welcome to you. We're just waiting for the judges and the officials to be ready after the warm-up runs have concluded, before we get ready with today's qualifications. Here are the men's start lists then, in no particular seed order. These are the men that will be starting off on Route 1, and that is Eduard Savitov, Evgeny Wojciechowski, Reinhard Raminkanov. Moving down that list, the first 9 there for us, ending with Galeb. Page 2 then of the first group. These are the men that will be on Route 1 here today. Dmitry Trimov, some names that we know there. Lucas Sverk at the bottom. A lot of athletes turning up from Georgia, just north of where we are here in Azerbaijan. Also a good contingent from Azerbaijan itself, the host nation here. And this is page 3 here for you now then. This is moving on to the men that will be starting off today on Route 2. Some of them up against the athletes that you've just seen. Stanislav Kokorin there, Libor Froza, the world number 1 and 2. Jerzy Komazinski, names that we know. Evgeny Ashtashkin. Danilo Boldarev, the world number 3 there as well. The last page then for the men's athletes here. A name at the bottom there that we haven't seen since Chamonix last year, Basar Mawem. Vyacheslav Vedenchuk in there as well. And that's the men's. And as usual, we'll be splitting that list halfway down the middle, so we can make the best use of the 2 routes that are available here on our official speed wall in Baku. Let's have a look at the women's qualifications now then. Margot Heitz there of France, Monika Prokopiuk, sorry. Another name that we know very well as Alexandra Rudzinska from the speed climbers here. We do not have the current world record holder here, but we do have the world number 1. Should be coming up very shortly. And as it is an official route, we can break records here today, and that's what we're going to be hoping for. Maria Krasavina, and there is the current world rank number 1, Yulia Levachkina there, who broke her own world record 3 times at Chamonix. Unfortunately has been picked to the post just recently by an athlete that is not in attendance here, Esther Bruckner. Current women's speed world record standing at 8 seconds and 33 milliseconds. Anok Jaubert there as well, Alexandra Elmer and Stephanie Pitschler from Austria, the 2 athletes forming the contingency of Austria here. Claudia Bugzek and Alina Gaida-Makina, currently world rank number 2, at the bottom of the list there for the women's. Well, for now then, while we wait for our qualifications to officially kick off, let's have a look at some of the local footage that's been provided by one of the news networks that's next to us, as we watch the female athletes attempting their trial runs before they come out and have their 2 attempts. Here, what we tend to see with speed climbing is that the first attempt is a rather conservative attempt when we get underway with the qualifications. Don't worry, what you're seeing now is not the actual start of the qualifications. They are still to come. As I was saying, we usually see the first attempt being relatively conservative, and then the second attempt, once they've put in a good time, is the all-out push for the top, where we either see records broken or athletes tumbling from the wall before making it to the top. So 58 athletes all in all here in Baku in Azerbaijan. And we'll be taking that down to just 16 by the end of today, getting ready for the finals tomorrow. We go through the speed final section. If you are new to the sport and new to speed climbing, we have 16 athletes that will be joining us tomorrow for the finals. We take those athletes down to just 8, then to 4. And it's a head-to-head battle as we move through the finals. So 8 lots of 2, as you can see these 2 athletes now climbing side by side. During today on the qualifications, that won't actually matter, but when we move into the finals tomorrow, it will be a race next to each other. The fastest time goes forward into the next round of the finals. So 16 down to just 8, down to 4, and once we reach 4 we have a small final, which is to decide who takes the bronze medal home, and then we have the grand final, which is for the gold and silver place. So 6 medals up for grabs here in Baku, 3 for the men, 3 for the women's, gold, silver, bronze in each. And fingers crossed that we see some records being broken here as well. It's nice and late on in the evening here, fast approaching 8 o'clock when we're due to kick things off here. Another relatively late start again tomorrow as well. That's due to the heat that we receive here during the day. As I was mentioning earlier, it is a very windy city. We had some problems with that during our setup day. Let's hope that that doesn't cause problems again for our athletes either today or tomorrow. Relatively large crowd gathered here in the square, Flag Square this is called. Huge flag of Azerbaijan up in the background. And they're all sitting underneath these pagodas on chairs, getting ready for qualifications to begin. See some officials moving around down the bottom of the wall. It looks like we're getting close to the end of the female warm-up period. See Vincent, the IFSC technical delegate, here moving around, doing the final checks before we get things started with the men's qualifications. We'll be bringing the clocks up for you as well at the bottom of your screen as these athletes are racing here, so you'll be able to see the times that they're logging in. For today then, it is the fastest 16 all in all, so the 2 athletes that you might see racing side by side are not actually racing each other, they're racing the clock, trying to keep it as low as possible. And there you can see that giant flag that's looming over us behind us of Azerbaijan. Just a little bit of information about some of the other activities that go on here in this country then. One of the other competitions that they have here is called 7 Beauties. which is a competition where 7 girls are given hooks and different coloured threads. The girls must crochet stockings when given the appointed time, and the winner is the girl who crochets the best quality stockings in the shortest time. That's a local tradition here called 7 Beauties. Another race and speed orientated competition, just like this one's going to be as we move into it in a few moments' time. People of Azerbaijan obviously like moving quick. So at the moment, decidedly not so, as we're waiting for these officials at the bottom of the wall to decide they are ready to go, and we bring our first 2 athletes out. As I said earlier, we do split that list down the middle. So the athletes that will be welcoming out first for the men's for today will be Eduard Sabitov of Russia and Alexei Molchanov of Kazakhstan. And I believe these are 2 gentlemen but I believe this must be another trial run. Well, that was a false start, so the athletes are coming down onto the ground. The first 2 athletes that we had here as coming out first would be Alexei Molchanov and Eduard Sabitov. I can see there's a Polish jacket there, and I believe that's actually Lucas Swerk, number 18 for Poland. You can see him on the right-hand side of your screen at the moment. And they're away again here now. Then Swerk firing into the lead here. Sabitov trying to hold it back, but Swerk is going to make his way to the top in great time here. 6.80 against 7.92. So Swerk there with the best time. As I said, they will be conservative at the very start. Try and get a safe run in before pushing on the next one. A good time there for Lucas Swerk. Not entirely sure what's happened there with Lucas coming out before Alexei. Try and get that double check for you in a moment's time. According to our start list here, we should be next up with Evgeny Wojciechowski, and well, it would have been Lucas Swerk, but I'm hoping it's going to be Alexei Molchanov now. Guillaume Moreau now out for France, the 18-year-old. Came first at the European Youth Cup. And you can see there he's flying away ahead here from Reinat. No time at all to wait there. 6.99, a good time there for the French athlete. We are taking our camera feeds from a local network here. Trying to sort these names out for you as quickly as possible as well. Next out will be Danilo Boldyrev of the Ukraine, 21-year-old athlete from Donetsk. World ranked 3rd at the moment. Came first at Mokpo in 2012, second at Chamonix that year. 3rd at the World Championships in Paris 2012. Very well-known name here. He's here coming in a few moments' time. There he is on the right-hand side, a young athlete still here as well. And Maxim Azizov just next to him, 17 years old, one of the youngest athletes here for the men's. born in Gusar, lives in Baku. We are away then. Danilov powering ahead here. Azizov left way behind him here. There's no chance of catching up. It's going to be Danilov all the way. 6.46 seconds. Another good time here. One of the fastest we've seen so far. And that puts him ahead of both Lucas Sverk and Guillaume Moreau. .23 seconds there for Maxim Azizov. Next up then will be Johan Lecuster of France, 21 years old, from Montfavet, world ranked 26th. Best result so far today was 6th at the male junior speed in Munich 2009. And Lukanov next to him as well. 22 years old, born in Gusar, lives in Baku, and you can see there, oh, that looks like a false start. Athletes back down on the ground again. The athletes get ready for another attempt here. A second false start here will cost them this attempt. We are away. Lecuster firing ahead here at Lukanov, trying to catch up, but Lecuster is just flying up this wall. It's going to be a good time here. 7.52. Currently still Danilo Boldarev holding the head of the pack here. 6.46 seconds. Next up then, Teymur Maksutov of Azerbaijan, 23-year-old from Baku. And next up will be Seymur Kamalzadeh of Azerbaijan, 21 years old, born in Seki, lives in Baku. Came 65th at the Bouldering World Cup in Log Dragomir in 2012, so a boulderer as well here. A slow start then here. Gomiashvili on the left-hand side. Do apologise, there's change here, but it looks like it's going to be him here on the way. 13 seconds 56.
From Azerbaijan.
And now it's actually Kamalzadeh, do apologise. That was Georgi Gomiashvili there from Stefan Wiminda. And now Evgeny Ashtashkin, 27-year-old, came 4th at Chamonix 2012, 7th at Changzhi in 2011. That's Ashtashkin. You can see him there on the right-hand side for Russia. And next to him, Seymur Kamalzadeh. It's Ashtashkin straight away here. The Russians have a reputation for being fast, and he's proving that reputation true. But a slip there, it could be a chance for Kamalzadeh. No, it is Ashtashkin all the way, 8.30. A slip here, though, for the time. On a lot of these athletes, it's still Danilo Boldarev at the top of the pack here, 6.46 seconds. Some titans in their field to come shortly, though. Stanislav Kokorin and Libor Hroza, not long before they're going to be out on this wall. Next then will be Jerzy Komarzyński and Arseny Shevchenko. Shevchenko, born in Kazakhstan, lives in Yekaterinburg. He's currently world ranked 6th. Gentleman on the left-hand side of the screen now. Komarzyński just next to him. From Poland, born and lives in Glogo. World ranked 12th at the moment. So the facts are in Arseny Shevchenko's favour, but it's looking like Komarzyński's not going to let him slip off easily on this one. He's powering ahead. It looks like it could be Komarzyński. It is 7.18 against 7.41. Komazinski proving that the seeding doesn't always mean too much. 7.18 seconds there. Somebody to definitely keep an eye on as you move through this competition. World ranked number 1 and has been since 2012. Came first at Chongqing in 2013, so this year he's still topping the lead there. And Zinning and Chamonix in 2012 were other first places for him. 23-year-old Stanislav Kokorin, world ranked number 1, currently now on the right-hand side of your screen. Next to Galib Shikraminov of Azerbaijan, 21 years old, from Gusar, lives in Baku on the left-hand side. Galib moving himself into position here. Shikraimov in position, Kokorin as well. They are away. It looks like a false start there has been called, but only for Galib. Stanislav has stopped as well here. Kokorin coming back down onto the ground. Stanislav definitely didn't want to stop there at all. It was called by the looks of things on Shikrahimov's side. Which is interesting considering it looked like Stanislav started first there. Our athletes get ready again. Starting positions. We are away again this time, and it's looking like no false start. Kokorin is flying up this wall now. This is going to be a very fast time indeed. 6.63 here for Stanislav Kokorin. Still not as fast as Danilo Boldyrev. And Galib Shikraimov finishing up there with a time of 17.69. Next up then will be Sergei Sinitsyn of Russia, 30-year-old athlete, one of the older male athletes here in this competition. Born and lives in Ekaterinburg. He's world ranked 5th, but was 4th at the end of last year. Came first in Milano in 2011. Up against Sinitsyn will be Libor Hroza of the Czech Republic, the world ranked number 2 from Destia, 26 years old, 2nd at Chongqing this year. Hroza, not by much, 6.36 seconds. That is now the fastest time that we've seen here so far today. The world ranked number 2, very hungry athlete Libor Hroza. Can get very emotional as well. Things don't always go his way. Saw him at Chongqing earlier on in the year, having to reclimb during the final, I believe up against Kokorin as well. Yaroslav Gontarek and Dmitry Timoviv, 2 names that we know very well. Yaroslav 20 from Nikopol, Dmitry Timoviv world ranked 11th. They are away. It is Timoviv here, but Gontarek doesn't want to slack off too soon. It's looking like Gontarek's starting to pull past, and he has. 6.40, that's faster than Danilo Boldyrev, not quite as fast as Libor Hroza. And here's a replay for you. It looked like Timoviv was starting to take a lead there, but Gontarek quickly takes it back and pounds ahead, almost a full body length ahead of Timoviv here. The time of 6.40, that's definitely putting him well within the top 16. We welcome our next 2 athletes out onto the field. Leonardo Gontero of Italy, our only Italian male athlete here, next to Giga Iancotelli. We are away then. Gontero starting to power into the lead here, and he's holding it for now. Giancotelli falling behind him. It's going to be Gontero, and it is with 6.67 seconds. Another good time for him. That should hopefully put him in the top 16. Next up, Vyacheslav Vedenchuk of Russia, 19-year-old athlete born and lives in Yekaterinburg, world rank 14th. And up against him will be Almatskia Kvitsiani of Georgia.
Lane A. Almaty Kvitsiani, Georgia. Lane B. Vyacheslav Vedenchuk, Russia.
Kvitsiani versus Vedenchuk. Vedenchuk currently world rank 14th. Came 10th at Mokpo and at Zinning 2012. Looks like a false start there. Both athletes are frozen. Back down to the ground. Try that one again. Vedenchuk starting to move ahead there of Kvitsiani. Here we go again then, no false start this time. Vedenchuk took a bit of a stall at the start there, but he's carried on pushing up, and again another stall for him. It's not going to be too fast at all there. 8.42. It is faster than Kvitsiani, but perhaps not fast enough. It means that Vyacheslav Vedenchuk is going to have to really pull out all the stops on his second climb here today. Yasin Ali for Pakistan now next up, 19-year-old athlete.
Lane A. Mamuka
Lives in Islamabad.
Georgia. Lane B.
And next to him,
Ali, Pakistan.
Kutsishvili, Mamuka Kutsishvili, 18-year-old from Stefan Wuminda. We are away, starting here now. It's Yasin Ali, looks, by the look of things, starting to push forward here. A slow and steady race this one though. 13.67 seconds. Here we have our next two athletes. Babak Ibadov of Azerbaijan, born in Samaksi, lives in Baku, here in his home turf. And next to him, Zorab Shabalei of Azerbaijan as well, another native to Baku. They are away, a nice slow and steady start here. Ibadov has taken the lead here. Shabalei falling behind. But already, as you can see, how fast some of the other athletes are moving. Ibadov well into 12-13 seconds here. 17.53. Takes the fastest time here for him. The wall is at a 5% incline. On the Fontainebleau grading, it's roughly a 6C. It is actually easier if you do it fast. I have attempted it. I haven't topped it. I guess to stand my quality of climbing there for you.
Lane A. Chingiz Tagizadeh, Azerbaijan. Lane B. Bassa Mawem, France.
This is Bassa Mawem, gentleman we haven't seen for quite some time. 8th at Chamonix and Arco in 2012. Lives in Nancy. Tagizadeh next to him. Bassa Mawem flying away here, leaving his competitors for dust. Bassa Mawem, 6.83 seconds. That's a good time. And just looking at these here, that's putting him in the top 16 at the moment. You can see a replay of Bassa leaving Tagizadeh for dust here. Not hanging around at all. Now we get ready to do a rotation. We start again with our athletes, and this will be their second climb. This will designate whether they do make it through to that 16 or not. This is the all-important one. If they've had a bad climb on the first time, this one makes all the difference. Molchanov versus Sabatov. We're away. Molchanov starting to, it's neck and neck almost here. Sabatov still trying to push forward. Who's it going to be? It's Sabatov. 7.23 seconds against 7.76. Not much in that one at all. Milliseconds of difference. 7.23 seconds goes to Sabatov. Libor Hroza still holding the top of the pile here at the moment then with a time of 6.36 seconds. We get ready for another rotation. Lucas Swerk and Evgeny Wojciechowski about to come out. Worth mentioning, Evgeny Wojciechowski is actually currently the world record holder with that time of 5.88 seconds. He got that at the semi-finals in Zinning last year. Here we are then, quick start for both of them. Swerk is another well-known name here and he's proving himself again, but it's Wojciechowski all the way to the top. It looks like he's missed the button at the very top of the wall there. Here's a replay of just how fast that climb was. It's definitely not up to 13 seconds. It looks like he got a hand to it. To be the judge's stopwatch that tells us how fast that was. We get ready for another two athletes to come out and join us now then. Marcin Dziecienski and Reinhard Ramigakov. Dziecienski's flying away here, wasting no time at all. A stall there right at the very last. Not going to be happy with that time at all. 8.01 for Dziecienski. It looks like he's going to be relying on that first score for him. A treacherous second climb is where it can all go wrong if you don't have a smooth and steady start to the competition with your first climb. And then also run into difficulties, as you can see here on the replay. Dziecienski doing just at the very top. That's when it can cost you a place in the 16 that make it through to the finals. Our next two athletes then, Guillaume Moreau and Maxim Azizov. Moreau's last time was 6.99 seconds, so he's already quite safe. This is a time for Maxim Azizov to try and excel. Looked like a false start. Moreau down again here. Quick look at the replay for you. You can see it was Moreau there that started first. Another start then for Moreau and Azizov. It's looking fine. Moreau took a little bit of a pause there. Looked like he was going to come down for a false start again, but no, a slip here though at the very last. But Moreau gets there with a time of 7.93, which is actually slower than his first time of 6.99. So Guillaume Moreau will be using that first time, as it is the fastest time these athletes use out of their two climbs. Moreau looking relatively safe to make it through into the finals tomorrow. Is that local MC?
Lane A, Danilo Boldarov, Ukraine. Lane B, Ali Atlukanov, Azerbaijan.
Atlukanov coming out now, next to Danilo Boldarev, who did hold the fastest time here of 6.46. Still way up and into the top 16 times that we've seen so far today. Is Danilo going to be able to improve on it? He's well ranked number 3. Wouldn't put it past him. We are away again then. Danilo flying up this wall. Such an easy push here to the top. But it is slower, 6.86 seconds for Danilo. Which means he'll be using the 6.46 he got in his first climb. And Lukanov just finishing up there. You can see a replay of Danilo and how quickly, there you are. 6th or 7th hold already, an entire body span above at Lukanov. Foot slip there for a moment. You blink and you'll miss it. Incredibly fast speed climber Danilo Boldarev of the Ukraine. Our next two athletes To come out then will be Johan Locusta. Gomiashvili. Locusta on the left, Gomiashvili on the right. Locusta of France. Far away. Locusta flying into the lead here, is already a body ahead. This is going to be a fast time for him, and it's good, it's what he needs. 7.27 seconds. Which is faster than his initial time, but not by too much. 7.52 on his first run, Johan Locusta, 7.27 on his second run. Next up then will be Seymour Kamalzadeh and Timur Maksutov. Both athletes from Azerbaijan. Maksutov, 23 years old, born and lives in Baku, a true native. It's Maksutov there that takes that with 17 seconds.
Lane A, Yevgeny Astashkin, Russia. Lane B, Arseny Shevchenko, Russia.
Evgeny Astashkin, previous time of 8 seconds and 30 for Russia. We are away. Astashkin's going to be looking to improve on this one here. There was a slip there on the other side. You could just see it from Shevchenko. It was there, Astashkin. Astashkin with 6.93 seconds. Which is much better improvement than the first run of 8.30. Shevchenko with 7.43 could possibly just put him into the top 16.
Poland. Lane B, Galip Shibrahimov, Azerbaijan.
Komazinski here again on the left-hand side, and next to him Shikraminov. Komazinski flying away here, is way into the lead. He's going to need to improve on the previous time, and he does with 6.81. Komazinski previous was 7.18. That's a good time for him. Sergei Sinitsyn here now against Stanislav Kokorin. Kokorin, number 26, on the left-hand side. Sinitsyn, his teammate, on the right. It's neck and neck still here. They're pounding their way up this wall. And there's a slip there right at the very last, but he still manages to take it home. Looks like there might be a bit of a foot twinge going on there for Sinitsyn. But it's Kokorin, our world-ranked number 1, that ends up at the top there with 6.84 against 7.74. Kokorin's first time is still the fastest. Libor Hroza should be next up for us then.
Libor Hroza, Czech Republic. Lane B, Dmitry Timofeyev, Russia.
From the Czech Republic, and next to him of Russia is Dmitry Timofeyev. They are away, neck and neck. Kroza slips there. It's Timofeyev in the lead here now. Tries to pull it back but falls off. It's all on Timofeyev, but that was a slow top there even for Timofeyev. A slip for Libor Kroza. No worry there though. He does have the fastest time so far in this competition of 6.36. Dmitry Timofeyev there taking a time of 7.41, which is a bit of a dangerous territory for him to be in compared to the amount of sixes that we've had here. Giga Jakotelli of Georgia on the right-hand side here now then. Up against Yaroslav Gontarek of the Ukraine. Gontarek on the left-hand side, Jakotelli on the right. We are away. Jakotelli falls there, takes a little bit of a slip. It's going to be Gontarek by the look of things. And it is. Not too bad at all. Relatively fast time there for Gontarek. 6.45 seconds. A little bit slower. 0.05 of a millisecond slower. 6.40 was his first time. 6.45 his second. Still fantastic scoring there for Yaroslav Gontarek, the young athlete, 20 years old from Nikopol in the Ukraine. Our next athlete to join us then will be Almatskir Viziani once again.
A, Leonardo Gontero, Italy. Lane B, Almatskir Viziani,
against
Georgia.
Leonardo Gontero of Italy. 19 years old, world ranked 10th, this Italian athlete, the only Italian athlete here. Gontero on the left, Viziani on the right. Gontero here taking a very quick lead. We have lost Viziani entirely. It's going to be Gontero all the way if he doesn't slip. Fantastically fast, 6.43 seconds. Which is an improvement on his previous time of 6.67. Here you can see the replay and how quick Gontero takes the lead here. Leaving his racing partner behind. Although I will stress again, this is not a race. These are just competing for the fastest times to go through in that top 16. These athletes for tomorrow. Now tomorrow, that's when the real racing will begin, when the pressure is up. And you actually do have to slide your eyes over to the side of you to see how your opponent's doing. Vaishlev Vedenchuk, Amamuka, Kutsishvili. Kutsishvili on the right-hand side. Vedenchuk on the left. Vedenchuk fast and away here. It looked like Kutsishvili thought that was a false start, but it wasn't. Vaishlev Vedenchuk with the time of 7.66, which is his fastest time here today. Vedenchuk had that tough start on the first round and scored 8.42. This is 7.66. Will it be enough to see the 19-year-old from Yekaterinburg through? World ranked 14th, Vaishlev Vedenchuk. But two relatively slow runs here for him today.
Lane A, Yasin Ali,
Two new athletes come out to join us now then.
B, Zohrab Shahbalayev, Azerbaijan.
Yasin Ali and Zohrab Shahbalayev. Yasin Ali, the only athlete from Pakistan here, from Swabi, lives in Islamabad. And here we go, Ali. Slow and steady, and also Shahbalayev by the look of things here. Reminding you again that this is not a race, this is just for the fastest time of the day, the fastest 16 making through to the finals. Ali here looks like he's going to beat Zohrab Shahbalayev though for the top. Although it is not one of the fastest times of the day, I don't think, with 18 seconds on the clock. Actually slower than his first climb. Yasin Ali's fastest time today was 13.67 seconds. In a short amount of time then we will be ready to see who those 16 athletes are making it through to tomorrow. Two new athletes now emerging onto the wall. Babak Ibadov.
Lane A, Babek Ibadov, Azerbaijan. Lane B, Chingiz Takazadeh, Azerbaijan.
And Chingiz Takazadeh. Takazadeh on the right-hand side. We are away. Takazadeh relatively fast here now. This is a good climb for him. Athlete from Azerbaijan, Babek Ibadov, slipping down at the bottom of the wall. You can see there that angled shot. It's going to be Takazadeh. Score of 11.68 seconds. Not bad at all there. Though I don't think it's going to be enough to see him take one of those places in the finals. Move on to what I believe will be the last climb in the men's competition, and that is Alexei Molchanov against Basa Mawem. Basa is on the left-hand side, and Molchanov is on the right for Kazakhstan. We are away here. It's Basa Mawem ahead, and he's holding that, but only just there at the very last. Molchanov started to push back up again. 6.63 for Basa, 7.56 for Molchanov. Basa Mawem managing to shave off 20 milliseconds from his first climb there. 6.83 his first climb, 6.63 his second. No fives, unfortunately, for us today. Let's hope that starts to come in tomorrow.
Lane A,
Love to see a world record broken here.
Lane B, Maria Krasavina.
We are now straight on to the women's qualifications. No rest for the wicked. Two athletes already out and almost ready to start here. Maria Krasavina, number 47, you can see there taking the lead. Flying up that wall. 8.97 her time to start. Of Azerbaijan just finishing up here now then. An overall slower time than we saw from Maria Krasavina. Maria is world ranked 4th. It must be quite tense to come up against an athlete like that, even when you know you're only racing for your own personal best time. Our next two athletes out should be Conor Husinova of Azerbaijan and Rayan Mammadova Mammadova, 18 years old, born and lives in Baku. Husinova, one of the older athletes here, 33 years old, also from Baku, 45th at the World Championships in Paris. You can see Husinova currently on your screen on the right-hand side. Another slow start here for these athletes. Husinova came 47th at the Bouldering World Cup in Innsbruck in 2012 as well. You can see she's pushing into the lead here, but there's relatively steady going between these two athletes. Rayan Mammadova then only 18 years old, came 47th at the World Championships in Paris 2012, and 65th in the lead there as well. But the lead climbing doesn't seem to have done much good here. She's actually come off the wall there, and it's Conor Husanova with a time of 27.98 seconds. Our next two athletes up and out then are Yulia Levochkina there on the right-hand side. This is the athlete that has twice held the world record before now. I think it might be more than that actually, due to the fact that she broke it so many times at Chamonix. I think 3 times all in all, Yulia managed to break the world record there. Next to her is Alia Isakova. Yulia flying ahead here and falling. That's really going to cause some issues for her on a second climb here today. That could cost her dear, Levochkina. Alia Isakova still climbing relatively fast here, 15.07. And let's have a look at that replay then. This is what could cost Yulia now. She's got 1 climb to try and best the non-existent time, and that is exactly the position these athletes do not want to be in. Yulia has a chance of making it through into the top 16. She's going to definitely have to put in a secure time, but I think she'll be taking it relatively easy when she comes up for her next climb in a few moments' time. Ala Mariinc and Aitan Prialieva. Marinic on the left-hand side, Prialieva on the right. Prialieva is not invisible, we're just waiting for her to come out, I think. Ala Marinic of the Ukraine, 24 years old, from Kharkov, world ranked 48. It's the Polish team here, you can see sitting down. And Georgia, the Georgian athletes here as well. I'm not entirely sure what the hold-up is here. I think we're looking for Aitan Prialieva. Waiting for her to come out and make a start. So we're saying Mariinc, 24 years old from Kharkov, world ranked 48th, 22nd at the World Championships in Paris 2012. Some of our officials here. Alexander. Prialieva, 21 years old from Gusar, lives in Baku. Mora. It looks like we're ready for Aitan Prialieva now. It's getting cold now as well as the sun's gone down. Might be a blessing for some of the athletes. They can see a little bit better. Here we are away. It looks like that time spent waiting has definitely built up some pent-up emotion here for Marinic. She's flying ahead here. 10.56, which is a good time so far logged today. Aitan Prialieva. Still going here, still pushing. I definitely think there's something wrong with the clock there, though, for her. 3 seconds. Oh, no, 37. I do apologise, I've misplaced the decimal point there. Coming off, unfortunately, with the clock still running at roughly 43 seconds. Our next athlete's out then will be Monika Prokopiuk, a very well-known Polish athlete, 25 years old. She's 8th on the world rankings. And Tamara Kuznetsova of Kazakhstan.
Lane A, Monika Prokopiuk, Poland. Lane B, Tamara Kuznetsova, Kazakhstan.
Monika Prokopiuk, whose name I always switch the K and P around with. I say Prokopiuk most of the time. Monika Prokopiuk from Poland, born and lives in Lublin. Current world ranking on the World Cups is 16th. Slip therefore, can she pull it back here? Kuznetsova starting to take a lead. Still fast though compared to some of the times we've seen earlier. 9.84. And unfortunately a slip there for Monika Prokopiuk. But 9.84 for Tamara Kuznetsova. Which is the second fastest time we've seen here so far today for the female athletes. Maria Krasavina currently sitting in first place with 8.97 seconds. That's the one to beat today. World record for the women's speed climbing is only 8.33. It's not too far away at all from the world record. As you're probably well aware, those milliseconds can make all the difference here. Alexandra Rudzinska and Anastasia Savisko. Quick start there for both of those athletes. Savisko still powering ahead here. They're not too far away from each other. Rudzinska has started to take a lead and she's holding it. 9.08 and 9.70. And as it isn't a race, those are actually two of the fastest times you've seen from the female athletes. It's looking like both of those athletes are currently in the top 16. We've still got some very fast athletes to come though. Two of them now about to join us. Anouk Jalbert, France. I believe Azel Sultanova. Anouk on the right hand side, Azel on the left. False start here by the looks of things. It's going to be Anouk Jalbert, I think, that caused it. Let's have a look at that replay. Yep, it's Anouk Jalbert that starts a little bit too soon there. They're ready to go again. No false start this time though, but she's going a little bit slower than she would have done on the first attempt. Anouk Jalbert still putting in a very good time here. She slipped right at the very last. Azel Sultanova still going. 15 seconds, roughly a third of the way up the wall. Anouk Jalbert's not going to be happy with that one at all. Just like Yulia Levochkina. And no time on the first attempt. Still Azel Sultanova, 28-year-old athlete, born and lives in Baku. 46th in the World Championships in Paris. There she is with a time of 40.87. Let's have a look at that slip then from Anouk Jalbert just a few moments ago. She gets a... She knows that she's gone before she even reaches up for the next one. It must have been a slip with the feet there just at the very last. Unfortunate start for her there. She's going to be looking to improve on that desperately on the next attempt. One more chance. Sima Serafova and Alexandra Elmer from Austria coming out for us now then. Alexandra Elmer, 17 years old, from Stuhlfelden. A nice steady start here, looking strong. Looking relatively fast as well, 10.23 seconds for Alexandra Elmer. Sima Serafova. Serafova, 22 years old, from Baku, again 47th at the World Championships in Paris, 64th in the lead climbing there as well. You can see that brace move that she's using there as she's moving up is very much a lead climber's thing. Slow and steady, securing the holds before moving on. Very different stylistically from the more typical speed climbers that just throw themselves at the wall. And if you slip, well, you slip. Alexandra Alma here in a replay for you then. Spearing a foot there. She pushes up to the penultimate move.
Lane B, Stephanie Pichler, Austria.
And our next two athletes join us, Margot Heitz and Claudia Buchzek. Sorry, Stephanie Pichler. Stephanie Pichler of Austria. On the right-hand side, both these athletes should put in a good time. Almost neck and neck, almost like synchronized swimming. You can see synchronized climbing here now. Margot Heitz pushing into the lead though. Both are going to put in a good time here though. 9.62 for Margot Heitz. And 9.89 for Stephanie Pichler. Both times putting those athletes up into the top 16. Claudia Buchzek up next with Anna Brozek. Anna Brozek of Poland, 18 years old, one of the younger athletes here. By far not the youngest though. Diana Vadim Hanina is only 16. We'll be seeing her again a little bit later. Buchzek and Brozek. Neck and neck here, but it's going to be Buchzek pushing ahead by the look of things. Brozek putting in a good time there as well. Buchzek 9.19. Against 11.09 of Brozek. from Claudia Buchzek actually puts her in second place so far here. 11.09 from Brozek. Our next two athletes, Sems Kulieva and Tarana Aslanova.
Lane B, Tarana Aslanova, Azerbaijan.
Aslanova, 32 years old, another one of the elder athletes here. She's on the right-hand side. Born and lives in Baku. Kulieva, one of the youngest as well, 16 years old from Baku. Both athletes natives here. On the left, one of the youngest athletes in the female category. On the right, one of the oldest athletes in the female category here. Kulieva slips there just at that moment. Aslanova still going. Actually came back down the wall then to readjust the position. Now with another attempt here. And she actually just misses the top. It's looking like she's going to go for it again. Unfortunately misses again there, right at the very top. So no time for Tarana Aslanova. Now our next two athletes coming out are going to be very, very fast indeed. We have Alina Geda-Makina from Russia, 22-year-old athlete. She's world ranked number 2. Next to Yulia Kaplina, who's world ranked 12th. But her current World Cup ranking is 3rd after Chongqing at the start of the year. Yulia Kaplina, the 20-year-old athlete from Thailand. Yulia on the left, Alina on the right. Looking at Alina's previous results. First at Arco and Chongqing in 2012, second at Chamonix 2012. And here you can see why, the speed that she's firing up this wall up. But actually it's Kaplina, by the look of things, that's starting to push ahead here. Maybe this is her year. 8.74 and 8.63. But it is Geda-Makina there, 8.63. By milliseconds the difference. Very, very close to the current world record as well, set for the women by Esther Bruckner at the semis in Zinning. That's a very fast time for Alina Gader-Makina. 8.63 seconds puts her at the very top of our female leaderboard today. This is Diana Vadim Hanina on the right and Anastasia Kloshkova on the left. You see Kloshkova 9.82. Didn't seem to break a sweat either as she did it. Diana Vadim Hanina still going here. Only 16 years old, this athlete on the wall now. Born and lives in Baku. Time of 45.33. And now we get ready for the rotation yet again. Our two new athletes coming out, Maria Krasavina and Raylan Mamadova.
Maria Krasavina, Russia. Lane B, Reyhan Mamadova, Azerbaijan.
We start again from the beginning. This is their second climb then. The ones to watch out for as we go round again are Yulia Levochkina and Anok Jaubert, two athletes that we would expect to see right at the top of the leaderboard who have had very bad first climbs. Krasavina powering ahead here then. Krasavina's previous time was 8.97. She was the top of the leaderboard until just recently. 8.83. Faster than her first time, but not quite at the very top of the leaderboard. Still well within those 16 places. 8.83 seconds. Still here with Raylan Mamadova, 18-year-old athlete. Competed in both the speed and the lead categories in Paris. Came 65th in the lead, 47th in the speed category. .81 seconds there for Mamadova. Konul Husinova, the time of 27.98 seconds next out. Next to Aliya Iskakova from Kazakhstan. His previous time was 15.07. Aliya can improve on 15.07. She could just about scrape into the 16 places for tomorrow. This is fast. Is it going to be fast enough? Already into 8 seconds now. 15.07. She needs to get ahead of that one if she wants to see her place in the 16. A stumble there right towards the very top. And again here now as well. So she's going to be relying on her first score, which is 15.07. This one was 17.71. Husinova with a score of 31.70, which is actually slower than her first time as well. So Konul Husinova will be relying on 27.98, which was her first score. 33-year-old, oldest female competitor here. Now this is the one to watch out for. Yulia Levochkina back out then. She has to be able to put in a good time here and top to stand a chance of going into the 16. Because she fell on the first time. Next to Yulia Levochkina is Ala Marench. As you can see, Levochkina, this is slow for her. She just knows she has to be relatively quick enough to get there. As you can see, Mariench has put in a better score with 9.88. Oh no, sorry, 9.27 for Leverkusen. It's that pop-up at the very end, it always surprises me. 9.27, which should be enough for Leverkusen to go through into the 16. When you consider that the fastest that Julia Leverkusen has done before for us is 8.37, that's by no means her fastest. That was definitely a conservative climb there, making sure that she gets into that 16, and she will have known that before she came out as well. 9.88 then for Marinic, which is her fastest score today, a very good score for her. Monika Prokopiuk next up for Poland. And next to her will be Aiton Prialieva. Prialieva on the left-hand side. Prokopiuk, as you can see, they're taking a very quick lead here, and she's holding it. She had a bit of a fluff on her last run as well, so she's going to need to do a good one here. And she's missed the final button by the look of things. And let's see whether that'll go by a judge's stopwatch or whether that will be a discounted one. We might not be seeing Monika Prokopiuk in the 16 for tomorrow. Aiton Prialieva still climbing here though. 21-year-old athlete. Born in Gusar. And a slip there for her as well, so unfortunately no top for Prialieva. Next up will be Tamara Kuznetsova of Kazakhstan up against Alexandra Rudzinska of Poland. Here's a replay of how Prokopiuk did on that last climb. Very, very fast. More than a good enough climb to get her through. But then right at the very last, looks like she got a finger to it. I'm not sure whether they're going to count that one or not. I will find out for you. So we get ready for our next athletes to come out and join us. Tamara Kuznetsova of Kazakhstan on the left-hand side. Next to her, Alexandra Rudzinska of Poland. A false start there, so these two athletes will go again. Rudzinska, 19 years old, world ranked 5th. And here we go. Kuznetsova holding neck and neck with her though. Rudzinska starting to fall behind here. It's looking like this could be Kuznetsova. Her time previously was 9.89. She's missed the button by the look of things. Rudzinska with a time of 10.69, which is slower than her first time of 9.08. So Rudzinska will use the first time, and it looks safe enough. Anything below 10 at the moment is looking like it will see you through into the top 16. Our next two athletes coming out for us then will be Anastasia Savisko next to Azel Sultanova. Azel Sultanova, 28 years old, born and lives in Baku. And Savisko, 23, from Odessa, world rank 13th. Best is 4th place at Val d'Oran in 2009. You can see Savisko here. Sultanova falling behind. Savisko powering away. 8 seconds, 9. Moving past the 10 mark, 11.27 there for Savisko. Way slower than her first climb of 9.70. So Savisko will use the first climb as her time to go through to the 16. And it's looking like she will be. Another one of those athletes to watch out for then. Anuk Jaubert now comes back out for us after failing to top, actually coming off the wall. Anuk on her first climb. So we should see what we saw with Julia Kaplina, which is that controlled second climb, just fast enough to get through into the 16. And up against Anuk Jaubert will be Sima Serafova. There's Sima getting ready. Anuk needs to get this now. And she's still going for quite a fast climb here. Maybe that's because she knows she has to get ahead of the 10. This is very fast, actually, considering. And she's managed to do it 9.49. That is a fantastic time. Not so conservative at all there. It's one of the fastest that we've seen today, actually. A nice surprise to see somebody that's right at their last when they should be being a little bit careful, just going for it, hell for leather anyway. Sima Serafova here then, still going 37 seconds on the clock, 3 or 4 moves away from the top. .35 seconds for Serafova. Our next two athletes then, Alexandra Elmer up against Margot Heitz. Margot Heitz's previous time was 9.62. Alexandra Elmer's was 10.23. So both of these athletes are pretty much safe already, but they're going to be looking to improve on that one when they come out again here. We are away here, Margot Heitz pushing ahead of Alexandra Elmer. Elmer still clinging on there though. Both these athletes put in a pretty good time before. Margot Heitz 9.20, which is faster than her first time, so she'll be using that one to go through, and 10.09 for Alexandra Elmer, which again is faster than her first time. Both athletes improving on their previous result. You probably hear the wind there in the ambient mic. It's getting pretty windy down here at Flag Square, out by the Caspian Sea. Let's hope that it doesn't pick up too much to affect the athletes too much. Fun fact about the Caspian Sea, it's not actually a sea, it's a lake. Hands up for anyone who knew that. Not when you're climbing, obviously. Stephanie Pichler away then. Brozek falling behind her here. Pichler already put in a good time earlier. Let's see if she can improve on it here. 9.82 for Stephanie Pichler, which is faster than her previous result of 9.89, a difference of 0.07 of a second. 0.07 of a second difference. These athletes climbing 15 meters in less than 10 seconds. Claudia Buczek now up then, up against Sem Skulieva. Claudia Buczek, 22 years old, from Tarnova. Tarnow. World ranked 11th. She was 7th at the end of last year though, Buczek. And she's currently 14th on the World Cup rankings. Sem Skulieva, 16 years old. False start here though for both of those athletes. The youngest athlete we have here in the competition is actually 15. She'll be out in a short moment's time, Anastasia Kloshkova. Here we are again with another attempt for Buczek and Gulieva. Another false start, which means Buczek will probably be called down now for that one. She does have a good time though, 9.19. It should see her through. To the finals tomorrow. The only reason these athletes will be going again now will be due to one of them having faulted and the other one then faulted afterwards, but it hasn't been that way. Both faults were Buczek, which means Buczek now goes off and Gulieva is allowed her climb. Buczek already having a good time there though, 9.19 seconds, it should see her through. Here's one of the false starts. Interesting there, it looked like Gulieva actually pulled off just a little bit before Buczek did. looks like we're waiting for them to reset the clock, which by the look of things from here looks like it's just turned itself off. And we'll have Quilieva have another attempt at a climb here. Here you can see, just briefly there for a second, you can see that final slip at the very last, which didn't allow the clock to stop for Monika Prokopiuk earlier today. Some discussion from the judges a few moments ago, just next to me, as about whether she actually managed to hit that and the button just didn't respond or not. We watched it back on the footage. It looked like the decision has come down to the fact that she touched the yellow bit but not the black button in the centre. So currently unsure as to whether Prokopiuk will be going through into that 16 placements or not. And we get ready again for Quilieva. She makes another attempt here. Quilieva here. "23 seconds. Levering herself up there with a really high foot to try and get to the top, but just misses it at the very last. She's come off and unfortunately not tapped the timer to stop there. We get ready to bring out our penultimate athletes, and that will be Yulia Kaplina and Alina Gaidamakina. Gaidamakina has put in the fastest time so far today of 8.63 seconds. Is it possible that she's able to improve on that yet again here? I do apologise. It's Sonara Aslanova we have out here with Yulia Kaplina. Sonara Aslanova, 32-year-old athlete from Baku. Yulia Kaplina, that 20-year-old athlete from Taiwan, world ranked 12th. Current World Cup ranking is 3rd, 2nd at the World Championships in Paris. And there you can see why. 8.59 seconds, one of the best times we've seen today. Improved on her previous time of 8.74, Yulia Kaplina. Blink and you'll miss her. Tirana Aslanova still going here though. Unfortunately just coming off. Let's have a little replay then for Yulia Kaplina. One move up off the floor and she's already ahead of Aslanova. She holds that all the way to the top. No slips at all, nice firm footing straight to the top. Making that final jump look completely easy. And now we have two Russian athletes out to join us. That will be, I believe, Alina Gaidamakina and Anastasia Kloshkova. Gaidamakina starts to take the lead. Kloshkova falling a little bit behind, but it's Gaidamakina at the top there. No, she's missed the button at the very last. In fact, both of the athletes have missed the button. Not to worry, Alina Gaidamakina has the fastest time with 8.63 seconds, and Anastasia Kloshkova has 9.82. Both of those athletes should be going through into the final playoffs tomorrow, those 16 places. And the head-to-head rounds that follow. Well, you can see both athletes holding neck and neck right the way to the very top, and then Gaidamakina reaches up for that final button, just misses. And doesn't stop the clock, and following suit straight away after her, Anastasia does exactly the same thing. Luckily, both athletes with a very good time from their first attempt. Well, ladies and gents, a very quick qualification round here to see who's making it through into the 16 for tomorrow for the finals. Let's see who those 16 people are. We'll be having a look at the men's first. The results have been updated. We wait for the women's just to pour in. Here we are then in first place: Libor Hroza, Dmitry Timoviv, Yaroslav Gontarek, Evgeny Wojciechowski, Leonardo Gontero, Danilo Boldyrev, Stanislav Kokorin, Basa Mawem, Marcin Dyzienski are our first 9. Names that we've seen here before. Joint 7th, Basa Mawem. That is the best that he's done so far in any Speed World Cup. He came 8th at Chamonix. He's here equal 7th. Lucas Swerk, Jerzy Komazinski, Evgeny Estashkin, Guillaume Moreau, Sergei Sinitsyn, Edward Sabatov, and Johan Lacusta. Those are our 16 male athletes. The slowest time, 7.27. That's what you had to beat to be able to get into the top 16. Johan Lacusta has held that. Now remember that these results are not official. In fact, I think I'm just being told by one of the judges there is going to be a rerun here due to an appeal. Vincent just saying next to me that there will be. And it's looking like it's Klaudia Bukzek against Zemskulieva. That will be running again. Now maybe that was due to the false start, I'm not entirely sure. There was 2 there from Klaudia Bukzek, but when we did watch it on the replay, it did look like Kulieva actually caused one of the false starts. So it's looking like we're going to have a rerun of that now. Klaudia Bukzek looking very hungry here, but the false start has gone again on her side of things. And she has come down again. Well, I believe that was definitely the second false start that Bukzek would have caused, so I'm not entirely sure whether she'll be allowed another attempt here now. Kulieva still powering her way up here, trying to improve on that previous time. And Klaudia already has that good score, so it shouldn't be too much of a fuss here for her. I'll be surprised if she's not in the top 16 with a score of 9.19 off her first climb. I'm not entirely sure whether she's going to be allowed to climb again. Let's see whether the judge is up there now just discussing that with her. Those results that we showed you just a few moments ago then for the men's qualifications, the results of the top 16. Remember, they are provisional for a few minutes after the competition finishes, so the judges can confirm their results with what has been updated on the IFSC's website. You can see Bukzek has gone out of her harness here, so she's not going to be climbing again by the look of things.
We're going to be in the finals for their best
having a discussion with one of the officials.
They're going to be competing against each other on the lane A and on the lane B. Thank you.
I can see Vincent just moving over now as well, just to check what's going on there. So the men's results, remember, they are not completely official just yet. A few minutes to confirm everything, but it's looking like 7.27 was the cut-off point for the top 16. And here are the women's: Julia Kaplina, Alina Gaida-Makina, Maria Krasavina, Alexandra Rudzinska, Klaudia Bukzek, which is the lady that was just climbing for a reclimb there, and already you can see she's in 5th with that score of 9.19. Margot Heitz, Yulia Levochkina, Anok Jalbert and Anastasia Savisko, all in the top 9 here. And that all-important 16th place. Interesting that there seems to be some discussion around Klaudia Bukzek. Maybe she just wants to improve on that score. This is the an official route as well, so she could break the world record if she pushes for it. Anastasia Klochkova in joint 10th with Stephanie Pichler. bring that up for you in just a second. Stephanie Pitcher of the Austrian team makes it through then. And here we are, Tamara Kuznetsova, Ala Mariinc, Alexandra Elmer, another Austrian, and Anna Brozek finally placed Alia Istakova with 15.07. Big difference there you can see from Alia to Connell just below her. 15.07 the cut-off point, and below her 27.98. So our top 16 for the women's look fairly certain there. Again though, do remember that no results are official until a few minutes after the competition has finished for the day, for the qualifications. That was the men's and the female qualifications here in Baku 2013. And that's for everything. That's everything from us tonight. So we'll be joining you again tomorrow at 7:30, at 7 o'clock for the presentation of the athletes. That's 7 o'clock local time here to us.